What's going on, guys? Welcome to Parlor Talks. What? Oh, episode 25. Welcome to Parlor Talk. So tonight's episode, little Sunday special here. We have two incredibly talented and technical DJs on today. We're going to talk a little bit about live streaming. Both of them are actively involved in streaming sets or preparing sets to do live streams, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Then we're going to talk about some of their DJ careers, some of their accomplishments, and just all around good dudes. So we're going to bring them on screen in just a second. But give it up for my man DJ Mike West and DJ Encore. You boys can hear me? Come off mute.
Yeah.
What's going on? How you doing?
Good. Welcome to Parlor Talk, boys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
No problem, man.
So for everyone that doesn't know, we're hosting Parlor Talk right now from Teak Rooftop in Red Bank. Our partners, friends, awesome people, and we just want to shout them out to start the episode off. But for the people that are tuned in right now on the Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, all the platforms, why don't each of you guys just do a quick introduction, so the people who don't know you get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, Mikey.
Right, Brian, I'm going to let you take the lead.
All right. So yeah, man. Brian, DJ Encore, DJing for like 15 years now. I've always been involved with creative side of things. Me and Mikey actually, we got started. We've been friends for more than we've been DJs. So we both got started right around the same time. And ever since then, it's been our main focus. We've taken what it was, a thought into a reality, and then we started from the ground up. We went from private events to getting the right connections into little bars, and then into major clubs, into different cities, into different countries. And that's kind of like a real quick breakdown of myself.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Same, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like Brian hit it on the head. Like me and him both been doing this for a long time. I mean, people see our connection of who we are and what we do and stuff, and they're like, oh, look at these guys. And it came down to that we were friends first before this whole game started. But yeah, man, we got involved in this industry. I'm going to my office right now, so we got involved in this industry. What, 15 years ago? You said, Brian? I don't even count anymore.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
But little background on for me. Obviously I've been doing nightclubs a long time. It's big into the mashup remix production industry for the mid 2000s, I guess we can call it. Wedding company. You pretty much hit everything I can on the head with the DJing world. I guess you could call me a Navy SEAL of DJing.
Dude, I love that, Mike. And we've all seen you doing a bunch of different stuff. If it's music related, you're diving into it, man. And what I love that both of you guys are doing now is really taking advantage of the opportunity to do the live streaming stuff. So I know there's always a lot of questions. I mean, basically, you know this. You go on your Instagram, and the first 30 stories up top are all live, and every other Facebook post is someone saying, I don't own the rights to this music, and they're out there shredding and doing their thing. So definitely want to dive into it a little bit, but we don't want to overlook some of the facts that you guys are bringing up. Brian, DJ Encore, has traveled the world DJing, so definitely want to talk a little bit about your experience over in Japan and on the other side of the pond, man. I think that would be dope. And Mike West, just being a technical guru, man. You were doing the green screen live stream stuff like 2 years ago. This isn't even new stuff for you, so I think it would be cool to touch on that a little bit as well.
Yeah, I mean, right now, like you said, the whole industry changed, but I mean, you can't look at it as a negative. It's definitely positive. I mean, I'm seeing a lot more guys really stepping up their game and showing what their true passion is for. Like, one thing I can't emphasize enough to anybody is, like, if you're going to stream, just do what you love. Like, right now, you don't have a crowd. You can develop a whole new, fan base of just people on the internet from all over the world. It doesn't matter who it is now. So definitely dive into that. And remember why you got started in the first place. Like, dude, me and Brian have been doing this for 15 years. Like, sometimes you kind of forget, what are you doing? You get caught up in business. You get caught up in, whatever just is in front of you. And then you realize, man, stuff like this happens. You're like, dude, I get to play what I want to play this time, for a good hour, a good 2 hours, whatever you want to do. So, man, find that passion again, jump into that. But the whole live streaming thing, it's getting fun, man. Like, people call me quite a few things, like, you're the king of live streaming right now, blah, blah, this other stuff. I don't look at it like that in any way. I'm just doing it because it's really fun. Anyone asks, everyone's like, hey, listen, like, how are you doing this? I'm more than happy to throw out answers. The green screen thing, it's been around for years, but I definitely been dabbling in it for a little bit. I mean, I got into it with DJing weddings. You know, you start doing the green screens with photo booths. So that's how I kind of got my foot in it. I can ramble all day, but I'm not gonna do that for you guys. I mean, you know,
I think what Mikey
Like,
touched on with like the having the passion for DJing again. I know the reason I got started is for going to see guys that like I look up to and I actually became friends with guys like Riz and Finesse, just to name a few. And I mean, I'll never forget just going out and seeing them when it was a time when DJs could just do what they wanted to do because they were hired to be that DJ.
Right.
So like I would go see Clutch at, let's just say, I don't know, Deco. And he was like one of the first guys I saw do wordplay live. And I fell in love with that. And then I would go and see like who, in my opinion, he's my favorite DJ. I would go see Riz and watch him do something, and especially his sets, like his Hot 97 sets are incredible. His live Brooklyn series, you know, it's just different level of talent. And now a lot of I respect all the younger guys coming up because they want it just as bad as we did, but I don't think that they really knew Clutch the way I knew Clutch or knew Riz the way I knew Riz.
Yep.
Because in the clubs now, I mean, you guys all know we all play special and high end rooms where they're great. I mean, for the look and you feel good because you have celebrities walking around but at the end of the day, it's you're playing for the promoter, you're playing for the bottle service tables, so you kind of forget why you got started, and then people don't really realize what it was at one time. And it's nice now because everybody's on the same playing field. And then you get to see DJ Clutch be him. You get to see Mike West be Mike West and Za be Za. So it really, I think it's going to give people like the passion again. And I see it. I'm tuning in. I'm checking out everybody's lives. I don't just check out Clutches and Mike West. Like I'm checking out the younger guys. I'm seeing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And
a lot of talent right now, man.
Yeah, it's inspiring. It's cool.
Yeah, you make a really good point, Brian, that the dynamic has changed, or up until recently has changed to us DJs playing like more to the crowd rather than having to like introduce new music to people, where it was the DJ's job maybe 10 years ago he was breaking the tracks in the club and they were getting the music from us rather than the crowd dictating to us what to play. So that's a really good point. And I love the open-mindedness around just listening to everyone's set. I mean, there's a lot of times I'm on people's lives and it's me and that person. There's 2 or 3 people in there.
But I always check in, man. You always got to check in. I don't care who it is, man. If you're going to tune into someone's set, say what's up, hit them up, like hit a little like button. We don't know who's going to be running this club game in the next 10 years, So you'll see some of these cats that are very talented now getting a lot of shine because of this whole streaming thing, So respect to everybody out there just hustling, So got to give it to them.
Yeah,
we're all doing it for free too.
Yeah, right.
It's beautiful.
Because I'm playing music now because I want to, and I'm picking the songs that I want to listen to. And if there's one person or 100, I mean, like that's dope. But overall, I love I was like a much needed like break. I think like kind of just hit the brakes for like a couple weeks here and then kind of reset.
It's vacation, reset. I love that. It's a reset. That's all it is. It's just a reset.
No, I like that.
Love that.
Because you got to keep it. You got to keep it positive, and like I think everyone was grinding really hard. Like Encore, I know you're doing 6 gigs a week, and Mike's doing 6 gigs a week, and we're all like working and doing doubles and running around. So it becomes a lot, but I do feel that refreshed. Like I want to open up my laptop. I want to go through my crates. Right, I want to load those tracks. Today, we did a live stream on the shout out to the Wicked Wolf team up in Hoboken, but we went live on their page and we were just playing because we find that if you play the mainstream stuff, the feeds get pulled. So we were kind of just digging deep, having fun, and we went a full hour, no issues, and people were kind of really feeling it. So I love that.
Yeah, that's what's up. I love that. And it's another thing, man, like digging into the whole live stream thing. Like, there's a lot of factors. A lot of people are just starting to do it and they get real discouraged real quick because it's not going the way they want to or just how they operate in a mainstream world. Like I said, feel free to reach out. Anyone that wants to reach out, I have all the advice to give you. I'm on a couple forums this week talking about this stuff. But this is a great opportunity to support local talent. And I can't emphasize that enough, man. Your remix buddies or anybody that's putting any work in behind the scenes, making tracks, those are the tracks that are not going to get pulled on these live stream sets. Man, I'm getting some stuff off of Beatport that I thought I dug and found, still getting stuff, getting copyright issues on Facebook. So like I said, reach out to some of these kids that are putting work in, man, and play their stuff. Why not, gain some of their followers, you know? So it's dope.
Yeah, no, and I think one of the people or like one of the groups that was pioneering the live stream vibe was the Function House and Encore. I know you're really involved with the Function House guys, so you want to talk a little bit about your experience there? Because I know you were on their main show, and then you had like a weekly thing going on. So you want to just dive into that?
So to me, those types of shows are what I look forward to the most. I mean, I was lucky enough to play in a lot of places, some that are still open, some that aren't, but Function House is different. You know, Function House is a platform where you have some of the most talented DJs that play in our market on that show. And when I went on it, it was, getting started. It wasn't, seasons in yet. So I knew the show. I knew Riz played the show, Clutch played the show, Finesse. Then you had house guys, like Richie Santana, Fetty Legrand. Like he had great DJs on this show, and I didn't know. So it's Anthony Vitale and Mike Gentile are the ones who run that show, and I knew of them, but I never met them. So my way in was through Clutch, and Clutch is like, "Yo, like if you want to play the show, I'll vouch for you." So he did. And I get there super nervous because, I mean, these guys, I respect the guys who put the work in, and Vitali's an amazing turntablist. Gentile his knowledge of music is crazy. So going in, I knew that I had to really do my thing. And I get there and I was super nervous. Vitali gets on and starts scratching and cutting before I go on, just having fun. So now I'm even more nervous.
Yeah.
And, I was able to do what I love. Like my favorite thing is samples, originals, wordplay, playing just super funky, groovy music, stuff that just kind of makes you like vibe. And that's what I did on the show. And it really helped me, especially with the guys that I look up to get to a different platform on my career, because that show is what it is because of the talent that was on that show.
Yeah, it's a good
point.
So
you have all the big DJs, and you have not even just DJs, you have club owners, and you have like fans of music watching it, and you get criticized. I was Scissorhands was one of the guys who was writing in the chat. Yeah, he's great, but it's just like I never had a personal connection with him before that. So just that alone, like this one guy as an example that I gained his respect, and I still am big on that. Like I respect DJs, and that's a really accomplishing thing for me to gain the respect of the guys I look up to. So,
yeah, I love that, and you make a couple of really good points. Is that the live streaming piece allows you to connect with people that you wouldn't normally. So point in case like tonight, right? Us all getting together and chopping it up is an amazing opportunity. But to kind of like round out the Function House thing, right? Like Sis may have never had an opportunity to hear you play, or like how often do we get to go out and see guys like Clutch and Finesse and those other guys, because we're all working DJs, right? So it's like tough to go out there and check out other people doing it live in the club. But with what Function House is doing and cultivating this culture on a Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, of course I'm going to tune into Encore and Unique and all those guys that we just talked about and that great lineup. So that was something that they were doing that was awesome, and we're looking forward to it coming back. And it's an incredible platform for guys like yourself, Brian, to get your brand and talent out there to a really wide base.
I agree, man. Thank you. Yeah, and they actually, not to get too much into it, but they created another platform. It's called Livespin. So to touch briefly on it, it gives guys the same platform as Function House, but it gives them a chance to actually create an income. This is something that you would have to do your own research on. Check it out. It's Livespin. You can find it through the Function House, but it's pretty cool, man, because of the vibe that they got in the industry, and because of the supporters they have, and the people who really look at that channel as an outlet to be able to take your ability to the next level. They were able to put something together to help DJs. So to help the guys that maybe don't have a big enough name to get on the Function House, that want to get their names out and make some money, because there's not enough work for everyone, so this makes it a little, now that you could kind of DJ from anywhere in the world, and you could hire that DJ. You could hire DJ Brian Za, and you could be playing in Japan because, the spots out there are super big in technology, and now it's an option. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's dope. And shout out to the Function House guys checking in on the Facebook. We appreciate your support. And Livespin.tv is going to be real hot soon. So
it's going to get real hot.
If you're hesitant, if you're a DJ that's watching now and you're hesitating to even try to like educate yourself on a one-camera streaming setup, I think you're really missing out on a huge opportunity that's coming up for everyone, and that's going to be pioneered and led by the Function House guys. So excited to be a part of it. So we're going to switch it up here just a little bit. I had a couple questions, and we talk about it. You guys for a long time dominated the Seaside landscape. I mean, that's not
to the wheels
that's facts, right? No one can argue that. You guys ruled the boardwalk. I think that's the best way to put it. But that was my $1,000 iPhone hitting the floor. Well, I just want to talk a little bit about it because there's a lot of nostalgia around that, and there was a lot of really great memories, like summers I spent down there. I think I met you guys both there on the boardwalk in like 2010 before Sandy. So I don't know if you guys just want to talk a little bit about the culture of that and some of the venues and things that you guys played there, because that's where you kind of made your bones.
Yeah, I mean, we both had our own.
I'll tap into it. Yeah. That's it. Put like this: before we get into that, the culture of the DJing then was way wilder than it is now.
6-hour sets, 7-hour sets. No, there was no openers, closers. It was you played the whole night. Owners didn't want hip hop, and they didn't want EDM wasn't really like a thing. Really, it was just regulated on house music or vocals. They wanted. I mean, some of the guys were just like, we want what they play on VH1. So you really had to work to keep everybody happy, and that's how it started. Everybody had their own section of the boardwalk that was their territory. Mine was JR's. When Kevin and bought JR's, I literally opened the doors. Actually, it was like a bunch of us that worked there together. Billy the Kid was one of the guys worked with, Tempo, Mikey. There's so many different DJs that we all brought up when Kevin first opened that place and built super strong relationships. But it's funny though, man, because it's cliquey. Seaside's a cliquey place, and but it's
very territorial, very
territorial. But there was a time, the boardwalk was great. It went from, I think, it's coming back for the smaller places in Seaside. But I mean, there was times where I'm sure everybody that's ever been to Seaside when it was, Temptations, Club Excess, it was wild. You would get
away with murder
on a trip. On a trip twice, you get pulled over.
Yeah. We used to, I mean, it was fun. It was wild. And it was a different element of DJing. There wasn't, downloading music. We actually had to hunt and stuff to go get stuff to play our marathon set, should we say. And then it was wild. I mean, like we came from this no holds bar, playing field at the time. We literally could get drunk all night long to 5 a.m. And then, it was okay. Now
right.
We've learned differently, and that, it was like as a DJ, you were a party animal back then, which was fun. I mean, me and Brian had our fun, man. Like we've had some wild nights. We've had like no sleep weekends. Just stayed in Seaside all weekend. It was cool. It was good times, man. But some of the clubs out there were fantastic. I mean, like Brian said, we met a lot of great people, man. Some of the clubs that, the big dogs that now even got their quote unquote Jersey Shore taste from Seaside Heights. Merge, Success, all that stuff. It was wild. Bamboo. I know guys that I'll meet them. They look like this older gentleman. He's like, I used to DJ Bamboo back in 1990. And I'm like, damn. That's wild. I didn't know that.
Can you guys talk about the Jersey Shore TV show craze? Because it swept Seaside. All of a sudden I saw you were on TV, right? So can you guys talk a little bit about that and how that impacted, you guys are DJing, JRs, or you're at Bamboo, or you're at, name any, there was a dozen places or more to go. Talk about that element when you saw the TV film crews kind of roll in and you're like, all right, now it's game time.
I had a relationship with, one of the cast members before the show, just from being in the industry, and I knew they were coming. I was cool with it. I never hated on it. And I think that even the locals didn't for the first season. And it was fun, they had camera crews, was interesting, it was pretty cool. And then I think when people get a little envious of someone, or if they get a little jealous or whatever it is, they don't like it for some certain reason, they'll complain because they can, because there's the show. What the show did for the town was it brought a lot of revenue, which was great. So when the show was there, they were bringing so many people from out of town and everything was really busy. But the problem is a lot of the locals kind of got upset because then they felt like they were pushed to the side a little bit. They felt like, when they would be able to just walk in, now there's lines, nobody's letting up the lines. So I think the relationships were lost a little bit at that point. And then after the show, things kind of slowed down a little bit. And then Sandy hit. So then that really gave people an opportunity to check out other areas.
Yep.
And to find out that it's not just Seaside that you go and party. I mean, for instance, you have Asbury, you have Porta. You know, Porter's a great venue Friday and
Porter,
Saturday.
never heard of it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the truth, you know? And then, like, if you go a little further north, you have so many other places besides the Seaside Club. So, I mean, I will play at JR's for as long as JR's is open because that's, you know, that's like my roots. And they
Right.
still do really well. You know, they get busy on the weekends. They pack them. It's a smaller place, but I mean, they're getting full capacity in there every weekend. So, I mean, they're doing their thing. So I'm not discrediting
Yeah.
Seaside, but as far as the show goes, I think it was
Changed.
cool. Yeah, but it changed a little bit. You know, I think I made some good. I think myself and Mikey, we've both traveled to the Bahamas twice. You know, we have relationships with some of those guys.
Yeah, in the last year.
Yeah. So
yeah, it was good.
That's killer.
Seaside was definitely a fun playground to be a part of. You know, I mean, Surf Club. Come on, we got to bring up Surf Club. Even though it wasn't Seaside, it was literally right next door. And some of the people I've got to meet and DJ with there, it was absolutely wild. Like, you know, you name it, it was just wild. You know, we've had Jonathan Peters on the roof DJing to the beach. You know, it was insane, dude. You know, so it was good times. It was really good times. You know.
Yeah,
So,
legendary club, Joey Harrison Surf Club, man. The Sunday day parties were out of control.
out of control, man. You'd be blacked out by 3:00. It was a good time, you know. It was a really good time.
Man, I miss it, man. But I think, you know, nightlife is moving. You know, it moves in cycles, right? So
Everything's in cycles, yeah.
you know,
Can't-
what's
I
in
can't- I
today
agree with that more.
could be out tomorrow. I mean, I don't even know what's going on right now. I'm downloading music and I can't test it out, and I don't know if people are going to dance to it because I'm not allowed to be around people. So I'm just kind of downloading
Can't be
music,
around people.
getting back to like, well, I like it, so maybe when we get back on the decks, I'll be playing a bunch of shit. I'll be like, well, I think this is good.
I
You
think
can breed
people
them
are
now.
gonna be fiending for it. Yeah, the people are going to be
Yeah,
fiending
yeah.
for good energy. So I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to be that. I mean, I think when we get back in the swing of things, in time it will get back to just the way it was, maybe even better. But I think it's going to be fun now. I think if guys could just could kind of just stick to their own style a little bit more when things get back, and you know, like still play the hits, but you know, just maybe try to stick to something that they really enjoy in their sets. I think we're going to have a lot better. I guess you could say period of time right now for DJs when we get back in action again. You know?
Yeah, it'll be good because I know like Chris and I are taking a lot of time to. I'm just digging through crates. Like I think everyone has their crates in their Serato, right? And like I'm gonna always be
I
hitting those
deleted them
crates,
all, start from
right?
scratch.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
dead serious. I literally deleted all of them and started from scratch.
And I love
Not
that.
even joking.
Yeah,
You know, like why not, bro? It's the best time to just really just reinvent yourself. You know, it's beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, like you guys said, like you know, you're gonna have your routines, but now the whole world's gonna change. Like you know, like you could develop this whole brand new fan base. Like I said, club owners and anyone that's out there that was once booking venues will eventually get that job again, or whatever the case is. But right now they're sitting around watching us. You know, so you know, what are you doing to to shine, to do what you do? You know, stand out a little bit. It's a perfect opportunity. You know. So that's awesome. You know, just have fun with it.
I like that. I like that
You
a
know?
lot. And those are just words of wisdom for anyone that's listening. If you've been thinking about it, just try it out. Ask a friend. Mike West is super friendly
Reach
guy.
out.
Hit him up. You could DM him. You can get him on his OnlyFans. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get in touch with Mike. So
OnlyFans.
make sure you
Gotta make that
reach
money.
out to him. But Encore, I want to dive into something real quick. I want to talk a little bit about. I know you've been overseas a few times. And I think that's an incredible opportunity, not only to travel, but really from a DJ perspective. Can you talk about like playing your style in front of a different culture? Because, we play like Central Jersey, maybe New York, maybe Connecticut, PA, but, the other side of the world, it must be a wild ride over there. Can you talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it was the most amazing experience that I've ever had. It was the function house, every club. So in Japan, you would think that the language barrier would be very difficult, and you would think that when you get there, like the average person, anybody who ever talks to me about me being in Japan is like, oh, like what did you play, like Japanese music? But it's not like that at all. Like they're more ahead of the times, in my opinion, than some of us are. With fashion, music. I mean, they emulate New York City and LA. Like they either love New York or they love LA. They love Biggie or they love Tupac. But they're deeply rooted. So like some of those guys like Congo and Hawk 2, like these guys are the Rizzes of Japan. They're amazing, talented, wordplay, like their knowledge of music, house music, hip hop, rock is out of control. And their opening DJs are that caliber. It's just like there's no DJ that's on because they know somebody. So like when I got to the club, I got there like when the club opened every single time because I wanted to hear everybody and show respect because I know that they're really big on respect and hospitality in Japan. And I don't drink. So, a big thing with them is they want to celebrate, they want to drink and have shots, kung pies, like that's just the way that they kind of get to know everybody. So me going there with them knowing that I'm not drinking was kind of like, even though you wouldn't think, it was kind of like a downfall, like a disadvantage for me right off the jump because now I can't make that connection. So knowing that going in, I spoke to a lot of guys who've been there, like Vitali and Nick Russo, Ammo, like Clutch, and I've asked them like, hey, like, what is the vibe, this and that, and they're all about the DJ being what DJ they want to be. So like talent, playing the new stuff, but playing it creatively. So when I went there, I prepared sets, but then I freestyled in between those sets. So let's just say I had some wordplay routines. I would play a couple, see the reaction, and then I would freestyle with some stuff to make sure everybody's in on it. And it worked at every club. And the vibe in Japan, the one thing that I could say that I got like the hair sticking up on the back of my neck thinking about it is when they go to the club, they get there when the door opens. And when they come to the club, there's no bottles, there's no tables. They go straight to the DJ booth. So like they come and they stand right in front of the DJ booth, and then from the DJ booth back, that's how the room gets packed. Right. And now everybody's watching you. Like they're watching you. And if you're vibing, like sometimes I'm like, you get in your zone, like you're looking for the next track or whatever, and then you drop it or whatever, do like maybe like some turntablism, you look up and everybody's just like, it's like 8 Mile, like throwing their hands in the air, and that feeling was all night, my whole set. It's hour sets in Japan. So, I mean, it was unbelievable. And I would have the DJs tell me of certain sets that I played, and they would know the music, and they were like, oh, when you went from like Jay-Z to Guns N' Roses and then like this and that, like they appreciated it and they respected it, and they would clap and like they would wait at the end of my set in like a line just to like bow, shake my hand, like meet me, take pictures.
Interesting.
It was incredible. It was unbelievable.
That's an awesome experience where you got to kind of take your style out there. If you could give a tip to any of the DJs that are watching now on, how could they go about getting an opportunity to travel abroad? What would be just like one tip or just kind of words of advice?
So for me, I'm lucky. Like I have some friends who have some strong influences in the business. Guys like I mentioned, like Nick Russo, Ammo, like the Jason Experience, Vitali, Clutch, like all these guys, they're deeply rooted, but I never ask, like that's the biggest thing. The biggest tip is don't be that guy that goes and asks someone for a favor or a handout. If you really want it, work really hard until they notice you. Like show respect, but don't show too much respect. Don't be fake about it. Like if you like a DJ, respect it, go out and see them, shake their hand, say, like I really enjoyed your set. And if there's an opportunity that you could ever play with that person and play properly, and if that person likes it enough, they'll approach you, or maybe they're going to bring up your name in a conversation, and that guy will call you like, oh, I was talking to Riz and he brought you up. He said you were a really dope DJ. And that travels because these guys are legends in the game. So that's my advice, just really focus on your style. And if it's wordplay or if it's just really clean blending or tone play, like whatever it is, I think your advantage is having something like that. Because why are they going to fly in a DJ from, New Jersey all the way to Japan just to play the records that they're going to play? They want to fly someone in and spend that money and put them in hotels and take them to dinner for a guy that's going to put on a show, but a real show, like to be a DJ. So I think that would be my biggest advice. Cause I mean, I don't have agencies. I don't have any like paying 20% to people. Like that's not a thing, like I was able to get there because I put the work in and I really focused on the talent end of it. And then I was lucky enough to make friends with the guys I look up to just by doing what I do, putting everything into it and showing them real respect. And that's how I got in with like the Jason Experience. He heard me at a party one day and he's like, yo, I'm going to put you on. Never once bothered him about it. 3 months later, he called me. He's like, yo, man, like, I don't know if you remember me or not, but like, let's work. And then since that day, we've worked all the time, and that's how you do it, in my opinion. and you never belittle anyone. You just be yourself, be cool to everybody. You never know, and that, I mean, I'm sure you guys hear this all the time, and it's like one of those things, but down to the bathroom attendant, just really be a humble human, not overly humble, but just be a good dude, and that's what I promise you, that's what we'll do it. That will take you to wherever you want to go. Having the right connections is important, but being a good person is what will get you there, and that's just for everything.
So invaluable, just knowledge right there, man. So Brian, I appreciate you sharing that. And I think that's a great takeaway for any of the young guys, any of the old guys, anyone that's in between. But if you're just in this game, I think some really good notes there to take away, especially if you want to just get involved. And I think it's all about, like, you want to have a good reputation and a good personal brand. So all that stuff really helps. I want to switch it up just a little bit. I know Mike West, you've traveled a little bit too. But you are like, I call you like the king of content. This guy, if you can strap a 360 camera to it, he puts it on there. It's strapped to his head. There's one on his wrist. He'll put it on Brian's head. He'll put it on the turntable. But Mike, why don't you talk a little bit about like your content game and some of the video work that you do that supports your brand and Encore brand and all the guys that you work with?
I mean, it's just to dive in it. I mean, the world's rapidly changing. So I always ask myself, what am I doing to evolve with it and not evolve away from it, or just whatever. So, as I started to grow my DJ Expert brand, which was my wedding company, content is important. We got a whole social media world that we're living in. And what are you doing to get people's attention is what I always ask myself. What can we do to get someone's attention today? So as you start to dive into it, you start to find all these amazing tools, man. And like you said, 360 cameras. I literally strapped a 360 camera on a drone the other day, and I posted that thing up in the drone website, and I got people from like France reaching out to me, and people from like South Africa reaching out to me, going like, "What'd you do here? I need to know." But just keep putting out stuff that's for me, man. I mean, I don't really think about it. It just kind of clicks in my head. I kind of have fun with everything I do. I mean, Brian will vouch for that. I never really just come up with these master game plans to do something, try to outdo somebody or somebody else. I just wake up and I go, oh my God, I got this great idea. And I push it to the point till the wheels fall off, in a sense. So, the world's changing. Like I said, we dabble in VR, man. A lot of people don't understand this. I've been doing a lot of VR stuff. Brian's been to my studio. I'll put a VR headset on your head.
Ridiculous.
You'll be standing in the middle. You'll be standing, and our clients are literally standing in the middle of a wedding. That's how we do our meetings. We give them a VR headset and we show them the introductions as if they're standing, at a table, and they go crazy, So I appreciate the whole king of content. I've never really been called that, but I appreciate that a lot, So I do a lot of stuff, everything from video to, obviously video DJing, music video remixing. I've been doing a lot lately. I was in a remix world for a long time, and I fell out, and then I decided to start just remixing music videos and movies. I'm getting a lot of great feedback on that stuff right now. So
yeah, I saw you posting that up on your live stream. I thought that was dope, and both Encore and Mike West. Like I think it's just you can't capture the gig if you just don't have a camera. So like step one is just a camera. To have it with you to capture those pictures, like wherever you are, like outside the venue, inside the venue, before, after, during, like you just got to have the content, just try to generate it. I think like the social medias are just so hungry right now. Instagram is relentless. You could be posting how many stories a day, how many posts a day, right? And then, that transcends into Facebook and Twitter and TikTok and go down the list of all this like places that you can put the information, which I think is like super important. So like for DJs that are trying to personally brand, take a look at Mike West and DJ Experts and what he's putting out, and take a look at like Encore and his feed. The way he kind of brands himself on social media. Just two really good guys that are kind of at the top, I think, and they're really good examples if you're looking to take the opportunity right now because you got some weeks off. Freshen up your content, freshen up your press kit. Get
learn how to use that camera you bought. Like exactly what you said, man. We came up through the game where we Facebook or MySpace, should we even say, was starting to become a thing, and we never saw that as really a tool in our game in the beginning. And now like you start to look at social media, and like you said, you nailed it right on the head. Like, man, some of the things I wish I had with me in some of these dope scenarios was a nice camera to take a dope photo or capture this room where I probably would never play again, or, where the case is, or the place went, out of business the next week, or where the case is. And you can get some great content from that one gig, and one day you're going to regret it. You're going to regret not having a good camera or whatever. Because that helps push you to that next gig, that helps you push you to that next person that's paying attention, so you hit it right on the head, Zach.
You make such a good point. So I was really fortunate. Shout out to DJ Ammo from New York City. Just a ridiculously humble guy. But he put me on at Cielo, and Chris came with me for that gig, and we filmed like a ton of shit from that place, and it closed not 2 weeks later. I played that 1 week. They had one more week, and then the following week was Oscar G closed it out on a Sunday, and that was the last gig. Now they like store shoes in it, but that's like to your point, Mike. Was I just I was like, hey Chris, just run around with the camera and do your thing, and
it's just a story, But now you have it captured, which is beautiful. You can't take that away, and then also it's great for marketing. It's you got to take all of your accomplishments and start putting them together. That's how you start to build that resume, that VPK, whatever the case is, One thing I'm doing with my streams is that I record all my streams, and everyone that's been doing stream with me, I've been giving them that content. Like when we're out of this, and we're ready to rock again, like you get to use that as content for your next gig or your VPK or whatever the case may be, So, that's a nice thing about streaming too, is that, like I said, you're going to get into the eyes that you want to get in front of. And then also you can put together these sick routines and use that. Like, I don't have to record that again. I already did that 2 months ago, So, and also I see Chris Lead. I pay attention to Chris Lead's sets, man. I watch you, bro.
What's up, Mike? Sorry, I was a little distracted this first 25 minutes. We were having some technical issues over here.
Dude, I always have technical issues. It's all good.
What's going on with TikTok? You messing around with TikTok at all?
Still not a fan. It's already made its way from being this very organic, crazy place to already let me lead people into my story to get followers and likes. Now it's just like a very driven field of just, hey,
it's like
you want to see more
right?
of this video? Yeah, it's just it had a lot of opportunity to become something big, but now I feel like it's already turning to this publicity game. Let's click on this story, and then you get into their story and they're like, oh, click on this one again, and then click on this one again. Next thing you know, you're clicking all these videos to see whatever this kid did with a soda bottle, and then you're like, all right, this is annoying.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot too, and it's very annoying. I don't know why people do that. They're like, follow me and for part 2, and like they never post part 2. Like, great gimmick, guys.
Encore, you on TikTok?
I don't have TikTok. No. I mean, I think it's a great tool, but I have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Right.
And I try to stay relevant with putting content up, doing the right thing. For me, even like in the clubs, it's tough, man, because, when I'm playing, like I'm really trying to DJ. So like I don't get to do like the selfie camera angles and stuff, which, I mean, listen, the guys who could do it and fit it in their sets, it's great because it looks great, but I'm so focused sometimes that like I miss that content. So I try to make sure that everything's nice and clean on my social media. I don't put up, a bunch of unnecessary content. I use it more or less for work and then to show things that I really enjoy, like hiking as an example. Like if I go hiking, I like to post it because I enjoy it and it's positive energy. So stuff like that. But TikTok is great. Like I saw some of the videos. My girl had, she shows me videos. I don't think she has it, but but it's cool, man. I think it's a good tool for guys.
I think we talk about this a lot. Is there is music that is jumping. It's making its break on TikTok, and then now it's starting to jump into Spotify, which will obviously then if it's streaming on Spotify, we're gonna have to play it in our sets. So I mean, like there's some tracks like, whatever. There's some hip hop stuff that like I'm now playing in my sets that was a TikTok track. So it's really interesting to see how, basically you and I, we could make a rap song, the four of us, and we can put it on TikTok, and all it takes is one person to find that track and it go viral. Now, you could potentially get a lot of streams out of it.
It's not a bad
I
idea.
do.
I know.
Yeah, I do. But I do believe though, like TikTok, we all should have it on our phone. I do believe what you just said is actually a very valid point too. It helps us stay in tune with what's happening in the younger generation. The trends right now, if you see, you can see it within a week. You can see trends come and go, come and go, come and go, and then months later start to evolve onto the Instagram and the Facebook page, and you see from TikTok, man, like coffin dancer. I don't know if you guys pay attention to that meme, but I mean, it's hitting, bro. That track. Do you guys hear that track yet? It's like that electro track. Man, you'll say just Google coffin dancer, and you're gonna hear this track. And now I guarantee you, people are gonna be requesting for it. As the summer starts to come around, you're like, oh my god,
I just see that they were dancing right, actually with the coffin.
The coffin dancer, that track
I
hit,
did
bro.
see that. Yeah, I saw that. I don't even have TikTok, and I saw that.
Yeah, I probably know the song, but I don't know the name of it. So that's the other problem. These people come up and they're like, "Can you play the TikTok song?"
Yeah.
Which one?
Which one?
I'm like, billion.
It's not even a good song. It's terribly mastered. But someone found it to make a meme out of it. But yeah, TikTok, man. Have it, go through it, start to scroll through it, and start to find things and research stuff. I mean, look at Animal Crossing. I don't even play the game, but I know more about that game through TikTok than anything else. It's crazy because I just sit there and scroll and just try to see what everyone's doing and see what's happening in the world that we don't see on a daily basis. Even generational gaps. We start to understand that these kids that are 13 now, 10 years from now, they're going to be in these clubs. And everything that's trending for them will evolve into that. So that's why I always, pay attention to like what's happening in the younger generation is going to start to becoming the modern, the new, So
I like that a lot. Love the energy. Encore, talk to me a little bit about
apps.
Yeah, Encore, do me a favor. Talk to me a little bit about your wordplay stuff, because that's what you're primarily known for, is like your turntablism and your wordplay routines. Aside from like the fact that sometimes you just hear it, right? Like I think there's that part, but when you're looking to kind of refresh your sets, what's your process? Do you hang out? Do you go into genres? Are you looking for samples? Are you doing
Graham is a monster DJ. That guy he's another one, man. He's super. Him, DJ Scratch, like those guys are legends. I mean, and they're so deeply rooted in even in the hip hop culture. Like Scram was a rapper. Scram has records for some of the most influential rappers in hip hop. So I could only hope to get that type of recognition one day, like when time comes. But yeah, man, like that's my thing. Like the original samples, just hearing them, it's the truth. I'm sure other guys have said this before, but when I'm out, like let's just say Atlantic City going to Harris, and I'm in the elevator and I'm like, oh shit, that's where it came from. And then I'll write it down in my notes. And then when my set's done, I mean, like it's in my brain to go to the hotel room and to look it up, find it, and buy it, and then think creative with it, and then I'll go to bed. But that's exactly how I do my word plays. I have my notes on my phones, and at this point now, you could scroll for minutes of ideas and songs and transitions that I wanted to make, and that's how I create them. And for me, like wordplay in the club is fun, but it has to make sense. It can't be in the middle of a verse. It can't be too much of a showcase. You have to make it where it's danceable and people won't be singing the song and then have to stop. So it's tougher, in my opinion, to do wordplay properly in the club. Some guys just do it to pull it off, which is cool. I get it, but it throws off the vibe for the people. So for wordplay, my favorite type of wordplay is for routines, or if I'm going to do like a specialty showcase, but I still really enjoy incorporating it to make myself sound different, because that's the most important thing for a DJ, to play the same records, but just play them differently. And some guys make their own edits, which I make some, but some guys are amazing, like guys like yourselves, Beatbreaker, like these guys come up with amazing edits that separates themselves from everyone else. So what am I going to do? I figure I'll do what I love, and that's the wordplay stuff.
Yeah, no, and you're definitely super, super known for that. And I think like Mike West was known for his mashups. I mean, to be really specific, like you guys were big on the Crooklyn Clan days, where a true mashup is, name like any acapella and you put it over an instrumental, and you blend those two together, and then you record that out, and that's like a real mashup, right? Because people throw around bootlegs and edits and mashups and all that stuff. So, Mike, you were doing a lot on the Crooklyn Clan days, right?
Yeah. Crooklyn Clan, your remix, it was wild.
You remember?
Like you said,
remember Crack for DJs?
Crack for DJs, all of them, man. I mean, it's funny. Some people hit me up and they're like, yo, I still play this track. I'm like, I don't even remember making that track. It's just, there's just this point in my life where I literally go out, work all night, and then just wake up and just bang out as many tracks as I can. Not because I can, but because they'll just be in my mind and fresh. But like you said, it was, in my eyes, a mashup was like exactly what you said. Not taking like a EDM track and then slapping a acapella over or whatever the case, and try to build this like build track or whatever. Like taking like something because it worked because the keys worked or the patterns worked or like it had a very similar genre or something like that. And that's actually funny that you're saying that. Is that now I'm starting to apply that to music video editing. Like I've been editing like movie samples to go into some of the original like dance tracks of what they're remixing in a movie, or it's fun. It's getting fun for me now. I got that visual with the green screens that I can pull that off. So it's definitely fun, man.
I like that a lot. I feel like a lot of edits that I've put out and just again, I'll be really specific. I make a lot of edits where I fix tracks, and it's not always necessarily like fixing them. It's just I played it out. Right, and maybe I was mixing it in, and Encore made a good point of this. Like maybe it didn't dance well, or people didn't sing it well. And I find like a lot of my edits that I make are out of functional use while DJing.
Functional, yeah.
Like I needed like a track that I really liked that didn't have an intro, or maybe you put a clap on it to carry it through the break, or whatever the case may be.
Carry it through the break.
I find a lot of like my edits that I make come from like trying to fix it to fit the club better.
So you're in the field, and one thing is I know it's like, nothing, all producers, you guys are fantastic. And obviously I use your work, but, not everyone plays in the field the way we do. We're weekend warriors in a sense, or, when we play something, it's, there's some of the producers does make their tracks for festivals and whatever. Like you said, man, this break needs a clap, or I need to shorten this up, or whatever the case is. Because you have a room, the attention span's 30 seconds, if you lose them in 30 seconds, people are going to want to, whatever, I literally make edits for rooms to play in. It's wild.
Right.
It's funny that you say that. That's exactly what you should be doing, in my eyes, especially if you're playing.
My favorite edit, I think my favorite Mike West edit is did you put Shots over Final Chapter? Or is it Shots over Cotton Eye Joe? What was it?
Yeah. No, it was Final Chapter. I did. I just woke up one day and said, I'm making a remix with Final Chapter and Shots, and it works. It pulls. I took a 9-minute long song, chopped it up to be 4 minutes, and just literally laid a cappella over it, and then it carries, man. It's fun. I play it all the time.
When are we getting some DJ Encore bootlegs?
I'll send them to you guys.
It's exclusive. I'm exclusive, bro.
I'm open.
I don't even get those.
No, I have like a lot of my stuff is different. Like I'll make edits where, because I'm like super particular with any type of vocal hitting a vocal. So a lot of my edits are if I have like for instance the chorus out. Sometimes the last count in that chorus, the verse will start and it will clash. So I'll make edits where I'll just take the last chorus in the song and put it there. So this way, when I'm mixing out of it, I don't have to hear like even like a hair of a word from the verse, because I don't know, it irks me.
Yeah.
So like that's a lot of my stuff. It's just like you said, like correcting stuff so you can play it live. Because unfortunately, unless there's influential rappers in each verse, nobody wants to really hear every verse. You got to cut to the verses that people really love.
Get to the good stuff.
They just want to hear the Drake verse. That's all they want to hear.
Yeah, just play Drake on it. Drake and Cardi B, Mad Money.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad the Cardi B stuff is out. It's really interesting. It's really interesting to see how hip hop kind of went, because there was, if you go back, I know this, I go back through my crates, 13, 14, and 15 was strictly EDM. I had very little hip hop. I could name them, and the only stuff that came out of those years, I think, was Fetty Wap that I'm still playing. And then it went like to trap, 60 BPM, the most awful shit ever for a couple years. And then I got really excited, like last year, 100 BPM, Latin was big. You guys talk about how that affected your sets.
In a sense, Brian will probably agree with me. Old school, you will see a trend on how music cycles. It kind of does the same thing, and I'm happy, like you said, I always really like that Mobutan, that reggaeton vibe. And I really like that a lot of artists are doing it because it's good early night. It's good just kind of keep the night going and stuff. I love that house is coming back, man. When I say house, like good house, like my God, like you can keep a whole night going for 122 BPMs, just rocking, man. And then like you said, like, EDM was always been there in a sense, but it wasn't a 4-hour set. It was your peak hour set,
Right.
That was like that early 2000 progressive stuff, so everything cycled. Even trap, man, we had a lot of that stuff. It was like happy hardcore, and then some of that really awkward dubstep stuff during the early 2000s. Like no one really played it because you didn't need to be down there, no one needed to be down there,
And if you guys ever need a lesson on 2000s hip hop, you need to listen to DJ Encore play. Because that guy he will show you some shit with some of those tracks.
But like touching on like the 2000s hip hop, like I love that. But even with the new stuff, I don't necessarily enjoy listening to it or really even understand some of the songs that are coming out. But I do have to appreciate and understand that where we grew up and what we liked and we listened to and we thought was really dope. It changes. Like the kids now, they don't necessarily know the songs that we did. They know who they know now. So as much as I may not personally like that music, I find the ones that I do or the ones that I could tolerate. And you don't have to play every one of them, but you do have to play, if you're playing, a room in the city, it's predominantly a younger crowd. You got to touch on it. So I do respect it. I respect all the music that's coming out. It's not necessarily, I'm not a DJ that won't play it. I'm a DJ that will just play it differently. The trap stuff, it's huge, and I think that that's just a new style of hip hop.
Do you find it hard, because a lot of the stuff you do is wordplay, do you find it hard to come up with wordplay when you can't understand half the words in these tracks?
Well, like luckily with the wordplay stuff, like a lot of rooms don't call for it, so I don't really get to do that everywhere.
Yeah.
In New York is one of the rooms that are one of the areas where I could do it, but not as frequently. So when I get into transitioning from, let's just say, trap into like 90 BPMs, then I'll be able to do like some routines in between, even some stuff with the trap stuff. I mean, it's still, it's doable, but then, transitioning back up the house, because I don't really necessarily play a lot of the, 70 to 100 transition records, if you know what I'm saying, like when they're already kind of transitioned. I like to kind of go up by record.
Yeah. Like work the room.
Yeah, so that's kind of like how I'll do it. And if I'm losing the vibe completely, then I'll just keep going up or I'll go back down. But yeah, like the trap wordplay stuff is different. But the choruses, you could really find some, because I mean a lot of it's repetitive.
Yeah.
So you can just go off of the choruses.
Yeah, and all these new songs sound the same, and they're using the same lyrics like over and over. So it gets kind of easy, I guess.
The same melody on everything, or the same like flow, with just different words sometimes. I don't even know if they're different words, but yeah, I heard a couple of songs. I was like, oh yeah, I have this song, but then it wasn't the same song.
Yeah.
It's
or
like
literally called the same song and not the song that they're asking for.
Like I think
so, we used to call it crunk early days. Remember we called it crunk. The 70
crunk.
Little John used to come out. It used to be that 70 BPM. It was trap, but it was like Atlanta. It was like St.
ATL,
Louis, like
Dirty South,
crunk.
T.I.
Dirty South, yeah, T.I. Wait, before T.I. style. Oh man, I remember playing some of the stuff like, what is this, man? And it was, we're doing it on CDs, so there wasn't like scroll to the list. You're like, I got to get in and out of this song somehow. So,
like, so there's
crazy.
like, you make a really good point where, like, for me, when I guess like if we date ourselves going back, like when we would hear like a Clutch play Faithless, Fat Man Scoop remix, right? And that was like the one where people were like, everyone was screaming every word and wilding out. Now you play that song, it doesn't really get a reaction unless you're playing an older club. I mean, me playing Porta, where it's primarily 21 to 26-year-old kids, like that Be Faithless track where I would like normally go there, it's like equivalent to like now, like you play Mo Bamba and they're ripping their shirts off and throwing their cell phones against the wall. And you're like, I don't get it. I don't really even like it. But to your point, Brian, is like you might not like it as a DJ, but it's your job to entertain the people. And you should be like completely objective to that stuff. Like sometimes you just got to grind it out with that trashy shit. I mean, the good part about it is that like Da Baby and Little Baby and all that other shit, you can play like just the hook and that's all they know because they're they're digesting the content so fast, right? So if you're playing like if it's a TikTok related track, they heard it for 15 seconds. So how much of a track in the club do you really need to play? but I would say definitely like don't ignore the trends because you as a DJ personally don't like it. My tip would be like I always feel out of place, and Brian, I know you feel this way too. Is if someone comes up to me and asks me for a song that I had never heard of, I'm like, yo, I'm behind. Like,
yeah,
I should be showing them new stuff. It shouldn't be coming the other way.
Yeah, that's how it used to be, man. You literally used to be like that. We would be introducing everybody to songs, and now it's the opposite.
I mean, it keeps on your toes. You know, it does. So it makes you work a little harder to get, you know, what's out there, and then you got to take chances. You got to play what you think is going to be hot. Sometimes you hit it right, you know, perfectly, and sometimes you're a little off, but it gets corrected. And I think the guys who just completely refuse to play the newer stuff, they date themselves, and unfortunately, they'll get the respect maybe from the DJs, but they're not going to get hired anymore. And if this is what you love to do, and you know, and you want to be relevant and stay consistent, you have to find a way to make it work for yourself. But you know, most importantly, for the people who come out to see you.
Yeah,
You know?
it's a good point, and people got to remember it's the entertainment industry.
Yeah,
Right? There's the showmanship, there's the technicality piece of it, but there's also the 200 to 1,000 people that are in front of you that also need to have a good time, including you yourself. So I think that's really interesting. Brian, real quick question for you: do you take requests when you're DJing?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it at all, but it's kind of, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I'm not always super into it, but if somebody comes up to me respectfully, you know, a lot of the times there's bouncers standing there, so they'll ask, and I'll just tell them like, you know, just ask them what they're looking for, and then let me know. And if it's something that fits, you know, and if it's something that is fun, or you know, like it's hard to explain it. I think requests are important because if a room is working right, and somebody's asking you for a song that in your head you think it may work, then why not play it?
Yeah, that's a good point. I heard Mike West loves birthday shout-outs. That's like his thing, right? Is that true?
Always. I do it in one shot. I go like this. The first birthday shout-out that comes out, I just go, hey, who's celebrating their birthday tonight? Big shout-out to you, and then I'm done for the night.
That's it.
I don't do the
So
individual
everyone
thing,
gets
unless
one
people try to throw
shout-out.
some money on me.
It's one shout-out for everyone.
And then I just repeat that shout-out maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the night, and then we cover the whole room.
What's the price for a shout-out?
Price? It depends. You know, if you're a prick, it gets real expensive.
I've seen
$100.
I've seen Mike do some crazy shit
$100
for a 20. So
I told some kid one time, I was like, yo, listen, he came up, requested a song. I was like, all right. I was like, now you got to flash me. He was like, looked at me like, what? I was like, bro, like you're acting like a bitch here. I'm like, if you're going to act like a bitch, you might as well flash me. And the kid looked at me all butthurt. And I looked at the bouncer. I was like, get this kid out of here. You just got to, sometimes you just got to have fun with it. But there's some people out there, man, they're aggressive. You know, there's a lot of nice people that compliment you. And then you got that dude that's just like, yo, bro, listen up, man. And they start touching you on your shoulder.
Oh,
whoa, easy.
Take a
Don't
step
touch
back.
me.
And shout out to DJ Ammo. I see Ammo just tuned in. Dish. There's a lot of guys that are watching right now. Benny B. Shout out to Vitali and all the guys that are watching with us.
Quality guys watching.
All the homies checking in.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the guys watching.
And we're glad that like the industry is trying to support what we're trying to do. I can't thank you, Mike, Brian, both of you guys for coming on tonight on Parlor Talk. It means a lot to us just to be able to chop it up. Great opportunity and a lot of knowledge. So anyone that's listening, we're going to post this up to our YouTube, so you'll be able to point people over there. And we want this to be a resource for young guys to kind of hear it, from a lot of different people on how to just do it better. And we appreciate it, man. So both of you guys, thank you so much for coming on Parlor Talk. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks for having us, man.
And I love the fact that you guys stepped up to the plate and started creating this Parlor Talk situation. You're really giving another platform for a lot of us DJs, to stay in contact and communicate and even educate. So, much respect to you guys. You guys are killing it out there, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Mad love too. Right back.
Bro.
Encore, when are you live streaming?
I'm gonna do something with the Function House again soon. I talked to Vitaly the other day, so I think I'm gonna do. I never really did a birthday set, so. It's my birthday.
I know, man.
I think I'm gonna play a little maybe
birthday was last week.
Creative, some super left field tracks. So
Good,
maybe
man.
next week.
Awesome, man. Well, make sure you share it with us. I know Mike West, you go live 8 days a week. So if you want to catch one on Mike West, he's live streaming.
I'm gonna do my plug. I got the Twitch TV DJ Experts. If you guys want to go and peep it, I'm not sitting there and say, hey, be a fan. But if you go there and you're a DJ and you want to reach out. And we're goofing around. We're trying to create some new nights for other people. I think I'm going to do an open mic night and try to start to help some of this local talent, like singers and stuff like that.
Good.
Me and Will Cruz were talking about some stuff. So,
and Mike,
the options
every Saturday, the Jenks
Saturday, we do the Jenks party. We got it.
Live
Every
at some
Saturday we
jank
got
party.
that. But you know, I'm looking forward to work with you guys a little more, man. I'm, you know, who knows when this is all gonna be over, but you know, I'm not gonna think about that. I'm gonna just keep being progressive and stay motivated. So I say everyone else, just stay motivated. You know, just some days I wake up, I'm like, I don't want to get out of bed.
Yep.
But then I get up and just say, you know, what else I got to do? You know, nothing worse than laying in bed all day and then trying to go to sleep at night. It's the worst thing in the world. You know, so stay motivated. Just kick ass. You know.
Well said, Mike
Have fun
West.
with it.
Once again, thank you guys. Fantastic episode with Brian, DJ Encore, Mike West from DJ Experts. Check out some of their content, what they got going on, and we appreciate having you guys on. All right.
Encore, give me
Be
a
safe.
high
We'll
five
talk soon. Okay.
All right, later, guys.
here.
Later, guys.
All right, real quick. So that wraps up today's episode. We appreciate everyone supporting us. If you're on the Facebook, please go over to our YouTube, youtube.com/ClassKills, and subscribe to our channel. That's the best way to support us. We go live here on multiple platforms. Facebook is cool. We're on Twitch, YouTube. So the best way to support us is go over to the YouTube. And like we said, we're going to keep saying it every episode. Have your friends and family subscribe to the channel, because when we hit 100 subs, we're going to be giving away some free DQ sauce.
Free sauce.
Free sauce. It's awesome shit. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys are going to parlortalk.tv, our website, if you guys want to see the upcoming dates and bookings as we continue to introduce entertainment, talent, and nightlife. Thank you. Everyone have a good night.
Thanks, guys.